I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
Welcome back to the Midday Muscle, coming to you from Tallahassee, Florida, which, fun fact by the way, is close to Wakulla Springs, where they shot The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah. We are back with another Recap Wednesday, so let's hop right in. We'll start with the Orlando Pro, where we had one of the most surprising results of the season so far. As our pre-show dark horse, the Jamaican tank Phil Clahar came in to upset Hassan Mustafa after splitting a tie on the scoreboards to bring home a huge win. With Phil winning the tie here, that bumped Hassan down into the runner-up spot, which means that he's still hunting his first win of the season, despite putting together two really impressive performances so far. Sliding into third, we had Stan DeLongu, who looked great in his season debut. Fourth place went to former USA champ Emmanuel Alvarez, who was also really impressive here in his IFBB debut. And running out a fantastic top 5 group here, we had Chris DiDomenico. And over on the other side of the Pacific, we also had some primetime men's physique and bikini action on display at the Taiwan Pro. We're going to start off coverage here with the bikini division, where we saw South Korea's Areom Song bring home the top honors on the way to clinching the first Olympia bid of her pro career. Sliding into the runner-up spot, we had Sarah Choi. And rounding out a surprisingly strong top 3 group, we had Mongolia's Uyanga Bata. In men's physique, we had South Korea's Yusong Lee show up and take care of business, which netted him his first win of the season. And then in the number 2 slot, we had Wang Sang. And closing out this top 3, we had Japan's Tomohiko Koike. And now we'd like to circle back to the Orlando Pro and talk more about Phil Clahar, because when we talked about him on last week's show as a potential dark horse, it did not get a lot of traction at the time, which is probably to be expected given that Hassan was pretty much everyone's consensus favorite. But now that it's all said and done, I think it's fair to ask if he can keep the momentum going this weekend in Romania at the Masters Olympia, because there's a solid argument to be had for him now to come in as a pre-show favorite there. And that's not meant to be a slight against anyone else in that lineup, because there are some fantastic names on the roster from top to bottom. But if we can assume that Phil is going to be as good as he was last weekend, or maybe even a little better now that he's already firing on all his cylinders, you can't help but think that it increases the odds for him to walk away with back-to-back wins now. And if that ends up happening, now we have another question to answer, which is, what does that mean for KAMAL Garni? As far as KAMAL is concerned, he's a 212 bodybuilder through and through, and one of the best to ever do it in that division. And there's something to be said for his willingness to step into the open over and over again, where he's almost always going to be outsized by those guys, yet he keeps pushing his limits and stepping outside of his comfort zone. On the flip side, because bodybuilding is subjective, anytime someone isn't placing at or above the expectation, there's a tendency for people to subconsciously start believing an athlete's starting to slip, or at the very least, they're starting to lose some steam on their fastball. So if KAMAL doesn't challenge Phil for the win here, or if for some reason he ends up dropping down to scorecards, you gotta wonder whether that will have a negative impact on his placings down the road. But ultimately, Corey might be overthinking all this, so let us know what you think in the comments. If KAMAL doesn't end up winning the Masters Olympia this weekend, do you think it hurts his stock? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments down below. That looks like it'll do it for this little Recap Wednesday. Thanks for watching. I'm Tyler, RX Muscle. There's nothing there.